This is Chuck Sachs for Indie Opera Podcast, and I'll be chatting with Emanuelle Bastet, the revival director of Robert Carsen's production of Britain's A Midsummer Night's Dream, being produced by Opera Philadelphia from February 8th through the 17th. Hello, Emanuelle.
Hello.
I know the final dress rehearsal was 2 days ago. How did you feel it went?
I think it was so great for the dress rehearsal to have some audience, because at one moment it's what also we need. Even the show is not totally finished. There's still some little things to do, like lighting, and it gives also for the singer great energy, and because a great part of this opera is a comedy, and when there is funny things and gag, it's always difficult to until we have an audience to see if it works. So it was so great to have an audience, and with a lot of kids and teenagers was just amazing.
Oh, great! So they specifically brought in school children.
Exactly, yeah, and the best audience in the world. Very spontaneous and
yes, and especially this piece, because it just makes the Shakespeare so vibrant. It's not that, reading Shakespeare can be really dull. I've done a lot of it. But this opera for me is just the epitome of setting a Shakespeare.
Absolutely. Really, it's a masterpiece. And Britain just write a music who go absolutely so well with the prosody and with the language, and give really an atmosphere absolutely magical. It's really, he has an understanding Shakespeare, but exactly like you say, they give something very lively, very vibrant, and this opera go really from emotion to tears, to laugh, to tears again, and to the emotion. This was full of emotion during this show, and also a lot of fun and.
So today the cast is off until tonight, but you're here actually. You're still doing some tech work.
Yes, we have to finish some lighting for this evening, just little correction. And
so you've been working on this production for about 28 years now. I mean, first as an assistant to Mr. Carsen, and now as the resident recreator. What exactly are your responsibilities as a revival director? Are you working from a production book?
Oh, I don't have any more production book. I know this part so well. So I think it's quite exceptional to have the possibility to work during so long for revival. So when I met Robert 28 years ago, I was really a young assistant. It was just my debut, and it's true I have the opportunity with this show to go all over the world, to go everywhere in Europe, to make a lot of turn. So Robert really asks me all the time if I can do the revival, because I think I'm almost the only one who know this piece, and for me it's such a pleasure. So now I don't do any more revival or assisting. I do my own show, but really for this one, I make an exception, because I love so much this Midsummer. I think this show is quite magical, and each time all the time it's funny, because before going somewhere, I think all the time, perhaps it's the last time, it's good now, perhaps I will be a little bored, and it's magical each time I arrive, and I begin the rehearsal with new cast, with young fresh people. It just gives me the right energy, and I'm so happy to do it.
So were there any modifications needed due to this specific cast and the theater itself to the production?
Sorry, I didn't.
And were there any modifications you had to do to this production in this theater and the cast? Any changes?
Yes, there is quite a lot of changes. We have just 4 singers who has done the show before. The bottom, Matthew Rose, he was at the Scala and Lyon. Tim Mead has done the show in Bergen 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
And Alison was playing Hippolyta, and Evan, the Theseus, were in Beijing. But for the rest, it's a completely new cast with young
but also
singer.
The Puck is also done.
And the Puck is so, it's very essentially this in this part. So during the 15 first years, we have Emil Volk, who was doing our work in each production, and now Mitos, who learned the role with him, now join the and we're happy that he can be available to do the revival all the time.
I mean, how do you go about, doing the restaging? Because it's Robert's work, but you're restaging it. What is that like? I mean, what?
I think my job is really to do this opera exactly like it was, but to at the same time to give for everybody a sort of freedom, the freedom to just also bring their own fantasy and build the personality and the character. So it's nothing to do with just movement or this regie, the staging is very, very precise and very challenging for the singer. It's very physical. They have to run, to jump, to make a lot of acrobacy. So it's almost a sort of choreography. So it's important that it's absolutely precise. But at the same time, the most important is also to keep this opera very lively and very fresh. So it's also to give us the freedom to
the realness between the characters. Yes. And also, I mean, there's also certain technical things I know that have had to change because of logistics, like the beds. Do the beds float?
Yes, but we must keep that like a surprise. We mustn't say that.
Well, they won't hear this until after it's open.
It's just enter between us.
Right. And so now, I mean, the singers have to be seat belted or something, or is it just seat belted, or is it?
It's a seat belt. Yeah. Yes, it's true that in 28 years the security rules have changed a lot. We just talking about that and say yes, a long time ago it was the time might change. We can really see that in this show. And also at the beginning we have also it was a walkway in front of the pit, and now it's more and more difficult to do that in theater because there's no rails. So there's we have to adapt all the time, and also there are some entrance from the audience where each theater has a speciality.
Right.
Yeah. And so we discuss always.
So we're going to get some entrances from the audience itself.
A little, yes.
I always enjoy that. I know there's some audience members that are just like, don't come near me.
No, but it's not so. No, I think it's quite nice.
So you've worked with Robert Carsen since 1989, and eventually with is it Yanis Kokas?
Yes.
What do you believe are the most important skills you learned from each of them?
I think for me to begin to learn this and this job with Robert Carsen, it's really a dream. I just realized now how I was lucky. Really, I think he's someone who has such a good instinct of theater and of the stage, and you know everything. You know perfectly the lighting, the technique, the costume, everything, how it works. So it was just amazed to have the possibility to work with him. And when I met him, he was at this debut of this huge career in Europe. So I really grew up with him, and I can follow him everywhere. So it was really great. And with Yanis, it was a little different. I was a little more experimented when I meet experience. Yeah, yes. When I meet Yanis, and so it was. It was a different way. They're not waiting
Was it more collaborative?
Perhaps a little more. But Robert gave me very early the chance to do revival because his show go everywhere.
Yes.
And I was really lucky for that because he has many shows at the same time. So quite young, I have the possibility to be.
And it's also, I mean. When you look at it in terms of stage production, opera and music theater are truly the most all-encompassing work for a director because it's not just the direction, it is everything else that's going on, and frequently some timing that with music and with the scenic elements and everything. It's a lot of people don't understand it. I mean, I do because I've done it. So it's. congratulations for working in it so long. Now, I mean, was it in 2002 that you finally started directing your own productions?
Yes, exactly. I have to Così fan tutte in Bordeaux.
Was it real reason it didn't happen until then? Was it for you felt you weren't ready, or they weren't coming to you yet?
Oh, perhaps it's a little both. I didn't. I think I was happy also to work with Robert and Yanis, and I think I have really to. I thought I have to learn more in a way. I was not so
wanting to jump out.
Exactly. I want to take my time also, and to. And I always say if I have to do a first staging, I want to wait the good moment and to have the great also condition, because sometimes for young stage director they just begin and they propose me before to do a staging but with a set who was still exists, and I'd say no, if I do a production I want to do in the best condition, so it's why I wait quite a long time.
How did that feel to be completely in charge?
Oh, there are always a moment during the rehearsal, but why I want to do it myself. It was so more comfortable to be an assistant. But in another hand, it's true that it's great to be in charge. For me, also the great moment was just when I thought about a project and just searching, and so this is the big difference. It's the big difference also, it's you're alone to take a decision, and sometimes it's quite heavy. It's quite a lot of responsibility, and you're the only one who can say okay. But on another hand, it's great also to have to have the space for imagination, and really to go for a project from the beginning until the end.
I understand that, because I've been an assistant. I music direct and conduct and arrange, and I've been an assistant, and then I fairly soon started doing it on my own, and then I've gone back to sometimes assisting people, and it's that kind of place where it's like you have to learn to then subsume your own personal drive there, or hopefully then it becomes more of a collaboration. But it's when it's all your own, it's like, and you're collaborating with everyone else, it's like, I got no one else to second guess me here. Yeah. And so what has the responses been, have you been receiving for your own work?
I think it's difficult to say, but I don't.
Well, you're doing more, so.
Yes, I quite have. I think the fact to be assistant of from Robert Carsen, it's in a way it's
like if you were like coming from Harvard or
but it's also a way, because people are perhaps waiting and for me I know exactly what I receive from him, and it takes perhaps a little time for me also to find my own way and to be, and I think I'm not so far away of his universe, but I try to have something personal also. So I really, from what I really receive from the critics, it's I don't know if I can say that, the quality of the acting direction, because it's something that I really learn from him, and I'm so attentive. I really want to take a lot of attention of the psychology, the relation between people on stage, and so I spend a lot of time in this work, and also aesthetically, of course, it's a little different, but it's I always try to compose with something between abstract and reality, to have some. I learn a lot with Robert also that the beauty of the image never go against the meaning. We can do both.
Right.
And it's the way I try. But I begin now to have some production. Yeah.
Are you then sharing your knowledge and training your own assistant directors now?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I had for a long time the same assistant director. He has do some revival for me too. Now he's engaged in Nancy, and I work with a young girl. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. And so tonight's the opening, but what's next on your schedule?
So I leave tomorrow. I go back to France, because now is the moment where we let the show in another hand. It's no more to us. So it's always a little strange for when we have to abandon the baby.
The conductor stays.
Exactly.
And the director says, thank you, bye.
Exactly. Well, sometimes when I have the possibility in France, I for my own show, I always stay, or I just go sometime for the last one. Robert also do that sometime. It's like we can never really leave, or we want to always keep a fit. But so I go back in France, and I will direct next in May a new production of Madame Butterfly. Miss Butterfly in Nancy, in France. That is my next show.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I've had a wonderful time speaking with you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.